Architect of this victory of the Congress party, West BJP citadel of 15 years, Madhya Pradesh has been breached. Mr. Kamal Nath is the CM designate who will be taking oath on 17th, and he joins me live. Thank you so much, Mr. Kamal Nath, for speaking to CNN News 18. You have been a 9-term member of parliament from Chhindwara. You have been a commerce minister in the past as well. Why do you look at this chief ministerial role for yourself as a milestone in your political career?
This is my first experience in the state, and every such step, every such event is a milestone, and I consider this to be perhaps the biggest challenge which I've faced. Being a minister in the center is very different to being chief minister in the state. In the state you encompass everything. There's such a wide spectrum of experience required, there's such a wide spectrum of knowledge required, and it's so different to being a minister in the central government. So I think it's not only a milestone, I think it's perhaps a bigger challenge than any of my ministerial portfolios I've had.
So the next 5 years, how are you looking at for the Congress party in the state of Madhya Pradesh now?
Well, the first challenge we have before us is the parliament election, which is just a few months away, because the people of the state have seen the writing on the wall, they've seen the picture of the state where every section of society is in distress. So we have to carry this message in a better way, in a stronger way to the people, so that we achieve success in the parliament election. Also there are challenges. There's challenges of the finances of the state. The state is bankrupt. We've got to find how do we tighten our belt, what costs we cut, and what resources we raise. The whole economy of the state has to be looked at differently. The Madhya Pradesh economy is agriculturally based. 70% of the people are indirectly or directly connected with agriculture. They may not be farmers, but the shop in the village, the Kirana shop in the village, his trade depends upon the purchasing power of the farmer. The tractor driver, he's not a farmer, but he's agriculturally dependent. The agricultural labor is agriculturally dependent. So across the state, we've got to put the economy in a proper perspective. We are not an industrial state. Our effort will be to look at the economy in a completely different way.
Okay, talking specifically about the promises that you made during the course of the election campaign, Rahul Gandhi and you talked about farm loan waiver. You're taking oath as the chief minister on 17th, and you had said that within 10 days, this entire farm loan waiver promise will be implemented. When is that 10th day, Mr. Kamal Nath?
Well, the 10th day is the 10th day. Within 10 days, I said that we will. Our manifesto says that within 10 days. And there's a reason and a logic for this. A farmer is born in debt. He dies in debt. And he's such an important component of our economy that unless we put this on a better anvil, unless we give this a start, the agricultural sector will never improve. So the farm loan waiver is very important. If the banks can waive off, can take a haircut, can waive off 50% of loans to business, can waive off loans to industry, why can't it be done for farmers?
But analysts say that farm loan waiver is bad economics. Do you think Madhya Pradesh is in a position to implement farm loan waiver at such a scale? Do you think you perhaps made a tall promise which will be very difficult to implement?
Well, it's not bad economics. All those who say bad economics don't know economics. They do not know the state, they do not understand this country. It's all very well sitting in drawing rooms and in offices and making these comments. But if you are waiving off loans of the business community, you are waiving off loans, giving them a 50% cut for industry, for business, that's good economics. When you give it to farmers, you waive off 50%, it's bad economics. I don't understand this. I would want to ask the banks that you do this for industry, you do this for banks, and this is all transparent. It's all on the internet, how much the banks have waived for industry and for the business, various businesses, how much loans have they waived off. They've taken a haircut of 40%, 50% in cases.
You know, sir, another promise that you had made during the course of the election campaign, and much before that, I should say, was that you will be building goshalas in every district. Is it going to be implemented as well? Because this was some kind of cow politics or competitive cow politics, if I may say, that was playing out between the Congress and the BJP.
This was not a part of our manifesto. It became a part of our manifesto later. I had gone to a district, and in the rally I saw how cows were being treated. Somebody kicking the cow, somebody pulling his tail, somebody is pushing it. And there, when I started my speech, I said that I saw this happening, and I was very disturbed by it. So it's nothing to do with a manifesto. I had announced this 3 months before our manifesto. So it is a part of our manifesto. And I think with the deep respect we have for cows, it is important to have a gaushala in every panchayat. What is religious about it? It's our sentiment, it's our belief, and that is our heritage. There's nothing wrong in it. The BJP will say it's Hindutva. Have they taken the agency for the Hindu religion? Have they taken the distributorship of a Hindu religion? We are as religious.
Talking specifically about what you just said right now, you had said that also before the elections, that the BJP doesn't have the distributorship of the Hindu religion. Do you think your understanding of Hinduism and the manner in which the Congress party went ahead in this particular election, we saw you and Rahul Gandhi at Mahakal temple in Ujjain and other temple runs as well. Is this an attempt by the Congress party to redefine Hinduism perhaps?
It's not redefining. It's always been so. We are not redefining anything. We go to temples. I have my own religious beliefs. 4 days ago, I went to Kedarnath. 5 days ago, I went to Kedarnath. I built the biggest temple, the biggest Hanuman temple in Madhya Pradesh in my own district. I never publicized it. It's nothing to do with politics. We don't bring religion to a political platform. We don't use religion as a political base. That's what the BJP do. That's the difference. And now that whenever we visit temples, unfortunately the media is showing it as if we are doing something strange. When I went to temples before, I go to Kedarnath so often, I go to Vaishno Devi so often, I go to Tirupati so often, it's not on media. But today if I start doing it, all the media will say I've turned, I'm following Hindutva, I'm following a Hindutva line. That's very strange. It is the media glare which is now saying this. But our sentiments have always been the same.
Will you be carrying forward the work that has been done by Shivraj Singh Chauhan, or will you be undoing everything that he has done?
Well, I will have to see whatever is working, whatever is good for the people. I have to check. It's just not having a scheme. It's seeing the delivery system. What is the delivery system of that scheme? If the delivery system leads to so much leakage of funds, I don't want that kind of scheme.
Talking about the Vyapam scam, the infamous scam, will you be going for some interrogation, investigation into it?
I have already announced that we will set up a People's Commission to investigate into all the scandals and all the corruption of the BJP government. And this will not be to seek political vendetta. It will not be to oppose anybody. It will be to expose whatever needs to be exposed.
Mr. Kamal Nath, are you going to give credit to your predecessor that Shivraj Singh Chauhan actually ensured that Madhya Pradesh comes out of that category of being a Bimaru state?
Well, Madhya Pradesh is number one in farmer suicide. Madhya Pradesh is number one in unemployment. Madhya Pradesh is number one in rape. Madhya Pradesh is number one in women atrocities. This is the state of Madhya Pradesh. Now, if you do, what is this? Is this not Bimaru? So, just saying that we have come out of a Bimaru state is fooling the people.
But this entire narrative of a rural distress, do you think that really played out? Because the epicenter of the rural distress or the farmer protest that we saw, that Mandsaur, that entire belt in fact voted for the BJP.
Well, a constituency has its own characteristics. You may have got your caste equations wrong. You may have got a wrong candidate. These things happen. It's nothing to do with people. What happened in other places? The rural distress came to the fore. We were competing with the organizational strength of the BJP and the money power.
How will it it be possible for you to really translate the kind of numbers that you've managed in these elections 6 months down the line in 2019, because then it will be an election to elect the Prime Minister of India. These were state elections, that will be the national election.
Well, it's very clear that what we talk about, the Modi sheen, people have started understanding it. We must remember that people in this country are simple, are poor, but they're not fools. They don't want to be thugged. The moment they feel they've been thugged, they will vote against you. And this is what the people are feeling, that the last 2014 election, what was promised, we never got. And we have been thugged. So I see that the people are going to reflect that in their voting pattern.
You know, Mr. Kamal Nath, it is said that when citadels break, the kind of victory that the Congress got in Chhattisgarh, that is the way it actually breaks. That is not what we saw in the state of Madhya Pradesh. Are you of the opinion that this victory, you had certainly hoped for more? You were talking about 130, 140, around that number. You have managed 114. Are you really satisfied with what you have got?
I am not satisfied with the 114 number we've got. We have lost in areas, in a particular area, in the Vindhya area we've lost, where we didn't expect to lose. We couldn't match the BJP's organizational power and the money power. But that's a lesson to be learned for us. We've learned that lesson and we will make up our shortcomings.
Would you say that your pre-poll strategy of not going for an alliance with Mayawati actually worked, because she was demanding far more number of seats than what actual voter percentage of the BSP on ground is?
It's got to benefit both parties in an alliance. And an alliance is there to defeat an opponent. But what did we see this time? We saw the BSP's vote share come down. It's not only we suffered, the BSP also suffered. We saw from 4 seats they came down to 2. They also suffered. So we need to, when we talk of alliances, we got to look at it from a point of view that it's got to be a win-win situation for both. But when it's not a win-win situation, then both are losers.
You had a formidable opponent in Shivraj Singh Chauhan, who had the backing of the entire election winning machine that Amit Shah has created of the BJP, and of course one of the deeply entrenched territory that Madhya Pradesh is of the RSS. How did you actually manage to ensure that the Congress was in competition, because you landed yourself as the Madhya Pradesh Congress Committee Chief only 8 months back, and then thereafter you were of course stationed in Bhopal?
Well, the BJP had a slogan, Ab ki baar 200 par. That was their slogan. They had the slogan in Gujarat, Ab ki baar 150 par, and they couldn't even reach 100. So where were they talking of 200 par? They could not even go beyond 110. So all these slogans mean nothing. Of course, the BJP machinery, organizational machinery is very strong. We got to continue building it up. I built whatever I could build in the 6-7 months I had. Now we got to build upon it and see that we strengthen our organization much more.
Okay, let me get more specific. How did you actually manage to create an organization which was completely missing on the ground? Congress was not there on ground because of a party which has been out of power for 15 long years. How did you create this organization in 8 months, Mr. Kamal Nath? That in itself is quite a feat.
Well, it was an enormous task of rebuilding the organization at the village level, at the block level, and at a district level. We did that, successfully did it to a point. I would have wanted to see it better. And then we went to various other social organizations. We reached out to government employees, we reached out to social organizations, and so that they could understand the message of the Congress. And all I would tell them is, the pictures in front of you, see the truth and go and vote for the truth.
Counting in Madhya Pradesh took the longest time. In fact, it was almost like 24 hours and there were reports that were coming in, and particularly the Congress was alleging that at number of places those victorious candidates of the Congress party were not being given certificates because there was some kind of pressure that was being mounted on the election agents by the bureaucrats who have been in favor of Shivraj Singh Chauhan. How will you manage a very, very hostile administration clearly right now?
Well, many administrative changes will have to be made, and I'm going to make them. I'm going to ensure that it's based on efficiency, it's based on honesty, and it's based on keeping our institutional arrangements intact. You cannot destroy India's institutional strength. India is a complex country, and the complexities of India are so profound, which perhaps no other country has. These complexities have to be sustained by institutional strengths, our constitutional institutions, even the non-constitutional institutions we have. It's got to be held together by that. And that is what I want to put together, because we've completely broken down. You're seeing in the central government, the Reserve Bank is divided, the CBI is divided, society is being divided. This is not what India is all about, and this is not which can sustain India.
After you won the state, it took 48 hours for the Congress leadership to finally announce your name. What was the hiccup?
There were consultations. There was no big hiccup. We had the results which came in day before yesterday morning as we speak. The results came in on the 11th night, around between 9 o'clock and midnight, and from midnight to 5 a.m. Some results were announced at 3 a.m. on the 12th, and the Congress party decided this on the 13th evening. How long did the BJP take in Maharashtra? They took about 8 days. How long did they take in Himachal? How long did they take in UP? In fact, we've done it faster than what has happened in the last 5-10 years.
Talking about Jyotiraditya Scindia's role, what role will he be playing in your government?
Well, he's got no role in the government, but of course, everybody is a participant in the functioning of the government. Everybody is a participant in the formation of the government. We all have to work together, and we have worked together in the last 7-8 months, and we'll work together in the future, because everybody has a role to play.
In Rajasthan, that battle for Chief Minister's chair played out in the streets with supporters of Sachin Pilot burning tires, blocking roads. Is that really the correct way of choosing your leader?
Well, sometimes emotion runs astray, but these are all temporary, and I think this is going to sort itself out. We don't have any of this kind of thing in Madhya Pradesh. Yesterday, it was Mr. Jyotiraditya Scindia who was proposing my name as the leader of the legislative party. So we don't have all this kind of thing in Madhya Pradesh. We are together, and we will remain together.
You said that you're looking forward to the big battle for 2019, and that perhaps is a big challenge. Will we be seeing some kind of pre-poll alliance with the Samajwadi Party and the BSP? Because that will be about a different election completely.
The BJP is in power because of the fragmentation of votes. And we must remember that BJP in 2014 polled 31% of the votes. That means almost 70% of the people of this country voted against the BJP. And the BJP announces to the world that we have a national mandate. Perhaps it's the only political party in the world which, having got 31% of the vote, says we have a national mandate. We've got to stop this fragmentation. And for this fragmentation, we'll have to build alliances. We are going to build alliances. And that's what I'm looking forward to doing. There are leaders from different states are working, coordinating with each other to have an alliance so that the country is rid of this BJP government.
You know, in these elections, BJP had built this larger narrative that here was a strong chief minister in Shivraj Singh Chauhan, in Raman Singh, in Vasundhara Raje, taking on a collective leadership. So it was Shivraj Singh Chauhan versus who? That answer was not really coming. Do you think after this victory of yours in all these 3 states, which were incumbent states of the BJP, that narrative stands defeated, that argument will not hold anymore, and hence the opposition can very well say that in the run-up to 2019, they also need not declare a prime ministerial phase because this is not a presidential election?
We did not have a chief minister's face in Madhya Pradesh. You had these same leaders who you call big, strong leaders. What happened to the big, strong leaders in Chhattisgarh? What happened to these big, strong leaders in Madhya Pradesh? What happened to these big, strong leaders in Rajasthan? So it's not that. In the end, we must recognize that the people of this country are looking for delivery, are looking for promises to be kept. If these promises haven't been kept, take demonetization. It was a disaster. Take GST, a misconceived GST. It has caused so much of distress to people, whatever one may say. Take the agricultural sector across the country. We have more farmer suicides in India than we have in the whole of Africa. So this is the state of affairs in this country.
You know, Mr. Kamal Nath, this is also one of the most closely contested elections, and in close to 73 seats, the winning margin is less than 5%. Do you think BJP got an advantage in the last leg after Prime Minister Narendra Modi started those rallies across Madhya Pradesh?
I don't think so at all. I don't think Mr. Modi made any difference. He came to my own district. I had the privilege of having Mr. Modi in my district. I had the privilege of having Mr. Amit Shah in my district. I had the privilege of having the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Mr. Fadnis, in my district. I had the privilege of Mr. Nitin Gadkari in my district. And they could not win one seat in my district. They could not win one seat. And they've lost by huge margins in my district.
Sir, are you saying that Modi magic or the Modi factor had no role to play in the state and in these elections, and it was only the Congress party leadership, you know, the collective leadership that I'm talking about, taking on Shivraj Singh Chauhan, the local election?
People trusted the Congress party and Mr. Rahul Gandhi. That's it. It's evident from the results. With all the BJP machinery, with all their publicity, with all what they had planned, they could not succeed. They got hammered in Chhattisgarh. They got hammered in Rajasthan. They've lost in Madhya Pradesh. They've come down. They've come down from the 160 odd seats they had to 108. What does that demonstrate? That demonstrates that Mr. Modi no more is a vote-getting factor. It demonstrates that the local leadership is no more vote-getting.
The popular vote is still with Shivraj. You had a greater conversion, of course, in most of these seats. So do you see this as a major loss for him? Because the BJP seems to believe that this is not. Of course, a citadel has been breached, but it has certainly not been demolished.
We had little time. We united very late. And I think playing around these numbers does not illustrate anything. They've got a 0.1% lead over us. But what is this 0.1%? If you were to take out 2 districts from this, we would have overtaken them. Because they have got, if you take out Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan's voting percentage, and you take out some other voting percentages of others, they've got less votes than us. So these holistic figures which are presented in terms of average, in terms of total vote, they are misnomers. They are misleading. We got to look at it district by district. You got to look at it constituency by constituency. And when you look at it by constituency, you will get a very different picture that how the BJP's vote share has gone down.
You know, you have worked with generations of Gandhis. You're seen as a Gandhi loyalist. From Indira Gandhi to Sanjay Gandhi to Rajiv Gandhi to Sonia Gandhi to Rahul Gandhi now. It's been several generations of Gandhis that you have worked with, Mr. Kamal Nath, over your period, the political career of over 4 decades. Which Gandhi have you been most comfortable working with? And can you rate these leaders on the basis of your own equation with them?
Each one had his different style. Each one was in a different period, was in a different period, different age, in a different world, in a different India. Sanjay Gandhi was in a different area, different age of India. Mrs. Indira Gandhi was again in a different period of India. They had their own style. Mr. Rajiv Gandhi was launching India into the 21st century. That was a different period. Mrs. Sonia Gandhi came in when we had Mr. Bajpayee as the Prime Minister. We had the NDA government, and she made Mr. Bajpayee sit at home. And now we have Mr. Rahul Gandhi, who's going to make Mr. Modi sit.